Shalom, shalom, Israel. This brother Kazak coming at y'all with another quick lesson through the Spirit. So, first and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, by Malak Yahushai. And so yeah, we just gonna hop into it through the Spirit. Um, Basically going into what you should do after sex, because the Most High gave us laws and commandments on everything. You know, He gave us instructions on everything that basically we'll be doing throughout our life. You know, and so this may be something that may be looked over. You know, a lot of people might look over it, and they might not know that these are things that they should be doing after they have sex. You know, so we just gonna go in onto it. You know, just to make it known. So we're gonna start off in the book of Leviticus, chapter 15 and verse 16. It says, "If any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the even." So it said, if a man's seed of copulation come out from him. First, if you see a word you don't really recognize, you don't want to just keep going and not get the full understanding of it. So if you gotta Google a word, Google a word. So we finna Google what copulation means, because through the Spirit we know seed is basically your sperm. You know, but what is copulation? Let's just get a Google definition on that. It's like, yeah, bear with me. It says copulation. Basically, it says noun, sexual intercourse. You know, so if y'all can see, I know my tablet kind of bogus. It says sexual intercourse. So it says your seed of copulation. So basically, what comes out after you have sex? You know, when you have sex with your woman, then you basically you bust. You know, through the Spirit, you bust. I'm gonna just say it. You bust. That's your seed of copulation. It says when that comes out, you know, so meaning when y'all done having sex, it say then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean unto the even. So the Lord is saying, after you get done doing that, you know, go jump in the shower. You know, jump your ass in the shower. You know, rinse your body off, clean yourself off. You know, get all them juices off of you. You know, and wash all of that off, and you gonna be unclean until the even. So you know, you unclean until it's dark that next day. You know. So it says, verse 17. So after you wash all your flesh and all of that, because that should be the first thing that you do. It says, and every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water and be unclean until the even. So it said every garment. So say some get on your shirt. Say some get on the sheets. You know, say some get on her shirt. Say some get on the pillow. You know, everything that it touches, got to be washed. You know, that's what the Lord is saying. It says, in every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water and be unclean until the even. So the man, he gotta take a shower. The woman, she gotta take a shower, and then whatever that seed touched, you know, whatever that seed got on, it gotta be washed. You know, you gotta put that in the washer. You gotta take them sheets off the bed. You know, peel them off, take that pillowcase or whatever off, and you know, you put that in the washer. You know, so it could get clean. You know. So so verse 18, it says, the woman also with whom man shall lie with, seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean unto the even. So it say the woman and the man, y'all both got to get in the tub and bathe yourself. You know, y'all both got to take a shower. You know, and y'all gonna be unclean until the even. You know, once the next day even comes, once it's dark that next day, then y'all back clean again. So this is why a lot of people say, a lot of congregations say no sex on the Sabbath, because okay, say it's Friday night, the Sabbath just started. You know, you have sex with your rib, and then y'all have sex, and then you know, you got to peel off all of those covers and them blankets, and you got to put it in the washer. So now you washing, which is part of doing work. So now you profaning the Sabbath, and plus on top of that, you unclean And usually on the Sabbath, brothers go congregate. Brothers go congregate. They go to camp. They go to Sabbath. They go to the Sabbath service or whatever. And you can't go around other brothers if you unclean. You can't go around the congregation if you unclean. That's going off. So this is why a lot of people say no sex on the Sabbath. So So let me read verse 18 again. It says, "The woman also with whom man shall lie with, seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean until the even." So, y'all both got to take a bath and y'all going to be unclean to the next day. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy now. Deuteronomy chapter 23. Because say you didn't have sex. Say you just had a wet dream. That's what they call it. That's what they call it nowadays. So let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 23 verse 10. Because it happens to everybody, especially from lack of doing the business. It comes from lack of doing the business. It's gonna happen. You have one of them crazy dreams, and you ain't really been getting none. 9 times out of 10 you might end up with a little wet dream. So Deuteronomy 23 and 10, it says, "If there be among you any man that is not clean by reason of uncleanness, that chance of him by night." So it said, if a man is around that's unclean by reason of uncleanness, that chance of by night, meaning he had a wet dream, meaning the brother was asleep. The brother ain't had sex with his woman or nothing, but the brother was asleep. Probably had a freaky dream or something, and then all of a sudden, the brother, his seed of copulation came out. I'm gonna just keep it plain like that. His seed of copulation came out, and the brother, now the brother is unclean. And you can't control that. If it happened, it happened. But you gotta follow the instructions that the Most High gave us, and when it does happen, you gotta treat it just like you had sex. It's the same thing. Your seed of copulation still came out, whether you had sex or not. It says, "If there be among you any man that is not clean by reason of uncleanness, that chance of him by night," meaning he had a wet dream, then shall he go abroad out of the camp. He shall not come within the camp. So you can't be around the brothers. You can't be around the congregation when you unclean. Because that's going off. Because then you unclean. You giving dap to brothers. You saluting other brothers. You doing all of that, and you unclean. You passing that same uncleanness to the next brother, and he don't even know. He don't even know that you did that last night. And like you going to camp with brothers to blaze on the people that's out on the streets that's not keeping the Lord's commandments. And you trying to go wake up Jake and wake up Eve, but you standing next to the brothers and you unclean, man. You putting a bad vibe on the camp, a bad spirit, because you out there unclean, and everybody else trying to be in the spirit of the Lord, and they don't know what you did last night. They don't know that you and your woman got it in last night, and you unclean into the even. So brother, it's best to just stay home that day. Follow the instructions after you done had sex with your woman, or after you done had that wet dream. Bathe yourself in the water, follow the instructions. Wash the sheets or whatever the stuff got on, and just and stay home. And read and watch the videos. That's all you can do, because you can't come around the congregation when you unclean, man. That's going off. It says, then shall he go abroad out of the camp. He shall not come within the camp. Verse 11, "But it shall be, when evening cometh on, he shall wash himself with water, and when the sun is down, he shall come into the camp again." So when that sun is down, he gonna be clean, because the brother done bathed himself in water, and he done went through his little unclean period, which is until the even come, and now the brother can come back into the camp, So yeah, brothers just gotta follow these instructions, man. The Lord ain't put it in there for no reason. These instructions is for our learning. Let me go to that real quick. The book of Romans. Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4. Because everything that the Lord put in this book was for our learning, man. For us to carry ourselves in righteousness. This is the book of Romans, chapter 15, and verse 4. It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope." So, everything that's written in this book, whether it's from the first 5 books, the books of Moses, which is the law, or even in the writings of the prophets, or even to the eschaton, everything is written for our learning. Everything is written for us to know how we should react in certain situations, how we should carry ourselves, and instructions for things that we should do in certain situations. Let's go to the book of let's go back to Leviticus, because we gonna touch on something else. All right, say your woman is pregnant, right? And she going to labor. Your woman is pregnant and she going into labor. And after she had a baby, it's instructions on things that we got to do when our children are born. So let's see that. This Leviticus 12 and verse 1 from the top. "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed," meaning she got a baby in her stomach, "and born a man child," so she got a man child. She had a boy. She gave birth to a boy. It says, "And born a man child, then she shall be unclean 7 days, according to the days of the separation for her infirmity shall she be unclean." So after she give birth to that baby, she unclean for 7 days. She unclean for a week. And then once that week is over, then she could come back into the congregation. But after she had that baby, she got it, and it's a boy, then she gotta be unclean for a week. Verse 3, it says, "And in the eighth day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised." So, being an Israelite, we the seed of Abraham, and when a male child is born on the 8th day, it's instructions from the Lord. It's a commandment that we gotta circumcise our males on the 8th day. Let's go to that in the book of Genesis, because the Lord made that covenant with Abraham. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter, is it 17? Book of Genesis, chapter 17, and verse 10. It says, "This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee." So the Lord made this covenant with Abraham. He said, "This between me and you and all of your kids that come after you. They got to keep this covenant." It says, every man child among you shall be circumcised, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house or brought with money, or any stranger which is not of thy seed. Salakia. But so it say, every man child of your seed got to be circumcised. So I know in the hospital these days, they might circumcise your child a little bit after he born, but you gotta tell them, like, look, I keep the commandments of the Lord. I keep the commandments of the Most High. So we not go circumcise our baby right now. Not right now. Not the day after he born. But we go wait till 8 days. We go bring him back in a week and 1 day, which is 8 days, and then we gonna have y'all circumcise him. We gonna have y'all cut off his foreskin. So that's how you gotta do it. That's how you keep the commandments. So if I had a male child, that's exactly what I would do, because that's what the Lord said. You can't circumcise him the 2nd day or the 3rd day after he born. The Lord said it got to be the 8th day. We got to try to follow these commandments to the best of our ability, to the T. So that's a precept on that. Let's get an example of one of our forefathers who was circumcised the 8th day. We gonna go to the book of, I think it's Philippians. Salakia. Go to the book of Philippians, chapter 3 and verse 5. It says, this speaking on Paul. This Paul giving a testimony of himself. It says, "Circumcised the 8th day of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, and Hebrew of the Hebrews, as touching the law of Pharisees." So this is Paul. He said he was circumcised the 8th day. You know, he the seed of Abraham. He from the tribe of Benjamin. You know, he an Israelite. So you know, a lot of y'all don't think Paul is an Israelite just because he was born in, where is it? Tarsus. He is from Tarsus. You know, Paul was a Roman, but he is an Israelite. You know, first off, Israel, the seed of Israel was scattered abroad according to the curses. You know, so so yeah, Paul was still circumcised the eighth day, even though he wasn't born. Even though he wasn't born in the land of Israel, you know, his parents, they still kept the commandments. They circumcised that brother the eighth day. So, you know, even though we in America and we not in our homeland, you know, we still got to keep these commandments. You know, we got to rehearse the righteous acts. Let me get that real quick. Salakia, go to the book of Judges. What is that, chapter 5? Judges chapter 5 and 11. It says, they that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gate. So we supposed to be rehearsing our righteous acts. Even though we not in our homeland, you know, even though we still under these curses, you know, we scattered abroad, we in captivity, you know. Once you wake up, it's time to rehearse them righteous acts, you know. So, hey, we got to circumcise our male child on the eighth day, you know, according to the word of the Lord. Let's go back to Leviticus, though. The book of Leviticus, let's go back to chapter 12, because there's more on that. It says, I'm going to read verse 3 again. It says, and in the eighth day, Leviticus 12 and 3, and in the eighth day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised, and she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 33 days. She shall touch no hallowed thing, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purifying be fulfilled. So just like when you unclean after you have sex, you know, a woman is unclean for a period of time after she has a child. So it says she gonna be unclean for, what is that? It said 7 days. So after 7 days, she gonna be unclean. She can't come near the congregation. She can't come in the sanctuary. You know, she can't touch none of the holy things. She got to be at home, you know, or doing whatever. She can't come near the congregation, you know, until she is clean again, you know. Verse 5, it says, but if she bear a maid child, meaning if she have a daughter, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation, and she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days. So she gonna be unclean 2 weeks, but she gonna be in order for her to be purified, it's gonna be what is that, 3 score? So that's 60. Score is 20 years. I mean 20 score is 20, and it says 3 scores, so that's 60. 3 times 20 in 6 days. So 66 days. It's gonna take her to be purified after she has a female child, you know. It says, and when the days of her purifying are fulfilled for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb or of the first year for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering unto the door of the congregation. Of the tabernacle of the congregation unto the priest. So we don't, females, y'all don't really got to worry about that right now, because we don't have no tabernacle, and we don't have no altar, so we can't do any burnt offerings at this moment, you know. But when we in the kingdom, best believe we gonna have to be doing that, you know. So let's go to the book of, let's skip to chapter, what is it, 17 or 18? Salakia. Book of Leviticus chapter 18 and 19. Speaking on, wait, hold on, did I get Salakia? Let me go back to 15 real quick. Salakia. Yeah, let me go back to the book of Leviticus chapter 15 and 19. It says, and if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean. So what is a woman's issue of blood? That's her period. You know, if she on her period, she's unclean, you know. And 7 days after that period is over, you know, 7 days, she gotta she gonna be unclean until that day, until that seventh day at even. You know, then she could come back into the congregation. But while she unclean, she can't touch nothing. And whoever she touch, whatever she sit on, you know, is that's gonna be unclean. Like it's gonna say, we gonna read on that. It says, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. So if she, because basically back then in the old days, you know, women they didn't have tampons. I don't know if they had pads or anything like that. You know, so basically, if a woman sat down on something while she was on her period, it'd be blood on it. You know, and whatever she sat down on, that would make it unclean because her blood got on it. So that's why it says that. It says, and everything, verse 20, and everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean, and everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even. So if you touch whatever she touched, you know, if you touch the bed, you know, technically, if you and your wife, if you staying with your wife and y'all sleeping in the same bed while she on her period, then she gotta wash them sheets and you gotta get in the shower. It's just like y'all had sex. You know, y'all gotta take them same instructions that the Lord gave. You know, you gotta wash your flesh because you touched something that was unclean. You know, it says, and whosoever touches anything that she sat upon, shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even. And if it be on her bed or on anything wherein she sitteth, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean until the even. So you can't touch nothing that she well, you can touch it, but you just gonna be unclean until the even. You gotta wash your flesh, wash your clothes, whatever touched it, and you gonna be unclean until the even right along with her. You know. So it says, verse 24. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean. So if you have sex with your woman while she on her period, which is foul as hell, you know, let's just say that it's foul as hell. That's nasty. But they say if you do that, you're not unclean until the even, but you unclean 7 days. 7 days from that time forth that you didn't did that. You know, so don't do that. You know, you don't want to miss doing the work of the Lord for a week. You know, you don't want to put off doing the work of the Lord for a week. You know, just for a one night quick pop with your wife because you so thirsty that you couldn't wait for her to get off her period. You know, you don't want to do that, man. Let's go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 19. It says, also, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness. So that's a commandment that we can't have sex with our woman while she on her period. You know, we can't do that. Even while she unclean, you know, we can't do that. The Lord said that's an abomination. You know, skipping the verse. This is Leviticus 18 and 26, because he said all the things that he was naming are abominations that the other nations that he casted out before us was doing. You know, Leviticus 18 and 26. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, meaning don't do whatever I said not to do, and do whatever I said to do. You know, don't do none of the stuff that I said not to do. It says, ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you. For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled. So you know, if you're doing those abominations, you defiling yourself. And you know, we the temple of the Most High. Salakia, you don't want to defile yourself because we the temple. This will be my last precept on this though. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3. Because you don't want to defile yourself because we the temple of the Most High. You know, and like it's saying in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, wisdom can't dwell in a malicious soul. If you steady defiling yourself, you know, you basically making yourself a malicious soul, and wisdom not going to want to come in and dwell with you, you know. It says this First Corinthians chapter 3 verse 16. It says, "Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you?" So the Spirit of God dwells in us because we the temple. He uses brothers as vessels. He uses brothers as vessels when we out there on the highways and byways to wake up the people that's walking past. That's still out here asleep. In the valley of the dry bones. It says, "If any man defile the temple of God," there go that word, defile. It says, "If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy." So if you steady defiling yourself because you the temple, you steady defiling yourself, God go destroy you. Because what can he use you for? If he can't use you, then he just go destroy you. You know? It says, "Him shall God destroy, for the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are." So, be holy, be set apart. Keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Remember to do these simple things, like after you have sex. Remember to do these things after your son or your daughter is born. Remember to do these things while you women, while y'all on y'all period. Remember to do these things after you have a wet dream. Remember to do these, like we read in the book of Romans. All of this is for our learning, so that we carry ourselves in the righteousness of our forefathers and those that kept the law, statutes, and commandments, so we keep our garments clean. So, with that being said, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and I'm going to say Shalom.